Y'all, I swear to goodness, okay? Write this down. The masculine man is what you want, okay? It's what you want, all right? The masculine man is the one that he is driven by his testosterone, and he's driven to pursue you. He enjoys pursuing you. He enjoys earning you, pouring into you, and doing for you. And what I found is that usually men, like the more money that they make, the men that are more successful, oftentimes they're more likely in their masculine energy. All right. What I want you to do is I want you to attract your romantic best friend. The advice that I give you is not for the short term, not just to get a man, because getting a man is easy. Y'all can do that. I want to help you to attract a masculine man who is going to be your best friend, where you can have the most amazing relationship that lasts the test of time. And I'm not just telling you what I think, I'm telling you what I know, because I've been able to create it myself. I'm not only the hair club president, I'm also my first client. So I started off where I grew up in a very abusive household. I watched my mother be abused like every day, okay? And when I say abused, I mean to the point where I would hear my mother get beatings with a belt. Literally hearing her crying because she's getting a spanking, okay? I witnessed uncles beat their wives to the point where they couldn't even see through their eyes. That bad. And even though I grew up saying I would never let a man abuse me, I would never let a man control me, I would never let a man mistreat me, I found myself attracting one toxic relationship after another, after another, after another. And I had a moment when even though I graduated pre-med biology, I was accepted into medical school. I was going to become a pediatric cardiologist. I was 9 months pregnant, y'all. And in the middle of the night, I pulled the sheet off of my child's father, and he punched me in the face. And he was very abusive. And we started fighting like Ike and Tina. I was done. I was over being abused. And then I was homeless, okay? And I didn't have any food. I didn't eat for 3 days. And as I held my daughter crying, realizing like how much I failed her, I made her a promise that I was going to do whatever it takes in order to break the generational pattern of toxic dysfunctional relationships in our family, that I was going to figure out a way out of this, and that she was going to get to witness healthy relationships, like what it looks like to be in a healthy relationship. And I promised her a big backyard. And I'm happy to say that I was able to keep my promise to her. How I was able to keep this promise is because I did a dating experiment. Science is my jam. It's my background. Okay. I did pharmaceutical sales for many years. So I love reading studies. I love science of everything. And so I did my own dating experiment. I went on 100 dates in 3 months, and I interviewed over 4,000 men, women, and couples. And here's the most powerful thing, y'all. When I was interviewing these men and I was interviewing couples, and I noticed that there were some women that were extremely happy with their husbands, and there were some women that were miserable with their husbands. And what it tended to be that I found that there were more women who were miserable and married than happily married. And I noticed that there were certain patterns in these women, in like the kind of man that they had. And I noticed as I was interviewing the men, I noticed that there was like a common pattern in their mindset, in the men who were good men and the men who weren't. And then when I was doing my dating experiment of going on 100 dates, I noticed that different men showed up differently. Like there was either a man fell in one of two categories. Either he was a masculine man or a man that was a feminized man, okay? And I'm not just talking about feminine men. We're not talking about gay men or anything. We're talking about men who are disproportionately in their feminine energy. They prefer for a woman to do for them, pour into them, earn them. You know those men that drain the hell out of you, that will sit around playing video games all day or making excuses. You know the men that want you to go half on a date, ma'am? Or the men who want to have sex on the first night and they don't want to do anything, okay? They don't want to do anything to earn you. The kind of man that like will say it's a woman's job to submit, those kind of men. The kind of man that you gotta play games, like they will lie to you and make you believe that you are moving towards a relationship only for him to say he changed his mind, he's not ready for a relationship, yada, 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 my ex did this, my ex did that. Or the kind of man that will date you while being married but lying to you about his status. Like, the Build-A-Bears, okay? Those are the feminized men. And those are the men that you got to go out your wallet for, that you got to pay for things for. Those are the kind of men that you're constantly compromising for. And you, in the back of your head, like that you shouldn't be here, but you keep holding out hope because in the beginning it felt good. In the beginning he was great, but then just as quickly he was not. And then there's the masculine men. God bless the masculine men. Y'all, I swear to goodness, okay? Write this down. The masculine man is what you want. Okay? It's what you want. All right? The masculine man is the one that he is driven by his testosterone and he's driven to pursue you. He enjoys pursuing you. He enjoys earning you, pouring into you and doing for you. And what I found is that usually men, like the more money that they make, the men that are more successful, oftentimes they're more likely in their masculine energy. Men that take care of their kids, like they're more oftentimes in their masculine energy. And here's the kicker. Like these are the men that you don't even have to worry about paying for a date or if they're going to do for you. These are the men that love buying you gifts. They're the ones that like taking you on shopping sprees. They're the ones that will buy you trips, that will take you on trips. They're constantly thinking of ways to make you happy. Like these are the men that are cultured. They're constantly wanting to teach you something or show you something that you've never experienced. Y'all, one man bought me a house simply because I said that I wanted to start investing in real estate, and he bought me a house and gave me the deed to the house. I swear to goodness. Another one bought me a car, like just bought it and gave me the keys to the car. They would take me on shopping sprees. Like it was something about it. Like, you want to go to the mall and get whatever you want? Like they would just take me to the mall where they would be like, get whatever it is that you want. For real. Like I saw on TikTok a recording of a woman who walked up to this man on the street and she was like, I'm having a bad day. Can you buy me a Chanel purse? And he was like, the man had money and he was like, okay. Like she used her feminine energy and this man like said yes. And it was like, these type of men are not hard. Like to them, money isn't a thing and it makes them feel good to spend it on a woman. Oh God, they do exist. And they're so much easier. Like the masculine men are literally easier when you know what you're doing. They make your life so much easier and they're better. The problem is that literally we've been brainwashed as women to breed and attract the feminized Build-A-Bears. We have been brainwashed that we have to think like a man, act like a man, date like a man, work like a man. Hello? So we have like a bunch of women who don't realize that the feminist movement was literally hijacked by men. And it was brilliant, okay? We were lied to and like, oh, have all the sex you want with whoever you want it. Like, give it freely. And you should work as hard as a man and pay half for the bills. Okay? Doesn't that sound like a great idea? You should take care of the house and take care of the kids and work just as hard. Matter of fact, work harder so you can prove that you're just as good or better than a man. And then pay for a man to date you. Even though you're the one taking on the biggest risk when you get pregnant and have a child, even though you'll be doing more work than him and taking care of the house and taking care of the kids, even though your income earning abilities go down when you get married and have kids, Even though as a woman, our feminine energy wasn't meant to take on all of that stress, and more women are having more mental illness than ever before. We bought into it line, hook, and sinker, and now you have women throwing their vajayjays in the air when willing to give it to anybody who asks for it like it's hot water and cold Kool-Aid. Even though statistically, when a man gets a good woman, he is more likely to live longer, have better health, be more motivated, make more money, have better mental health and better peace of mind with the good woman. Like, he benefits over 50% more than a woman benefits. Somehow we have been lied to that we need to prove our worth to a man. We need to explain to them why should he consider us? What is it that we bring to the table? And that we need to operate basically in our masculine energy when we're dating. And then these Build-A-Bears are going to want us if we are worthy to be wanted.